Okay, looks like not one of the best days that we could have. I think Steve has got some uh, other technical challenge. Again, on behalf of IBC Media, I definitely want to apologize on that. But again, coming back to the point, what I was talking earlier, that this space is very interesting, and several, as I was talking earlier, several of the newer blockchains which really have come in, and all of these blockchains are trying to solve, some of the biggest problems that this space is facing. And if you have heard the term which is called, trilemma, and that trilemma is a problem which is pretty complex, in my opinion, where we are trying to solve decentralization, scalability, and security at the same time. And it is not possible to solve all the three dimensions of any ecosystem at the same time. Exactly it means that if you are trying to go for decentralization and security, then your scalability becomes challenged. Likewise, if you look at two dimensions, the third one, you cannot control. And there are different ways in which this problem is being solved right now, such as if you really look at Ethereum, as a chain which started the programmability, and all the smart contract really started with Ethereum. But with the onslaught of several applications or dApps which started coming on Ethereum, and especially with CryptoKitties, if you have heard of, when CryptoKitties became viral, then what really happened was several the gas fee, the cost to doing transactions on the chain became pretty expensive. And that's really has been one of the things that has has really bothered us as a community. And if you really appreciate, Ethereum is coming up with its ETH2 solutions, and this ETH2 solution basically is trying to adopt various solutions in which you are talking about sharding, you are talking about several things which will help Ethereum scale to the next level. That's one way to look at it. The second way is also, I think, which is very interesting for all of us to appreciate as the blockchain community, is the roll up solutions basically. Now, these roll up solutions also have played a very very important role, where if somebody is required to spend, say for example, hundreds of dollars in the transaction costs, for doing transactions on the main chain of Ethereum, the costs when it comes to the roll-ups, that really goes down to a fraction of penny. Now that's the cost difference I'm talking about, and especially the roll-ups have played very very important role in scaling Ethereum's capability. Similar to that, if you look at Polkadot now, in this I was talking about scalability. I was talking about the way the blockchain systems are within the reach of the general community. If you really want to go and do transaction worth $100, and if you are ending up if you end up paying gas fee of $100, then definitely it is not something which can be sustained, right? I mean, that's a big problem for the whole ecosystem. And I think one of the ways rollups in making these things happen has been phenomenal. And I think there are several such roll-up solutions which have helped us be in the game, such as there is something Arbitrum. We talk about zk sync. Then you have got Polygon has been one of those. So I think there have really been a lot of innovations happening in the roll-up space. One thing that I always find very interesting, and Dhruv, please stop me when Steve is back, so that Steve can continue. But in between, let me give some of my perspectives with the participants of this workshop while we wait for Steve. So another thing which is very important for us to understand, that while all these different chains are coming up, they are building the whole ecosystem, which is very healthy sign for any technology, especially in the early days of the technology maturity. What is happening is that silos are being created. For example, chain one Ethereum, then you have got Solana ecosystem developing, then you have got Avalanche ecosystem developing, then you have several, Polkadot is there, then we have got Cosmos. There are so many chains which really are coming up right now. And what is happening in this process, that there are silos being developed. So for example, if you really have if you have an account in one particular chain, then you are not being able to leverage the ecosystem of the other chain. Now, in my opinion, while all these solutions are quite innovative in nature, but what is happening in this process, that the whole ecosystem is getting fragmented. Now, I think the next important challenge, in my opinion, and I think the industry feels the same way, is basically how do we connect these ecosystems together? And that is where the interoperability comes. And one of the most beautiful things that really has happened in this space is Polkadot. Polkadot, the way they have structured, and the way Steve was explaining some time back, the ecosystem that they have built is something in which you have got a central system, like, which is called relay chain, which is the brain of the ecosystem architecture. And then you have got an ability to have the parachains. Now all these parachains are basically having different, I would say, businesses, different networks, and all these networks really have connectivity through XCM that is being discussed today. And through these mechanisms, the applications or dApps in these networks, they can communicate with each other. Now imagine the world is shrinking in blockchain, and I think similar thing is being done by Cosmos, IBC. And in fact, I think the next focus of the whole industry is going to be interoperability, in my opinion, where where the blockchains they have an ability to interact with each other. That is number one. And with this process, one thing that I always feel very excited about is that the blockchain world is moving towards standardization. Now, when I quite arbitrary in the beginning, and then the standards started coming. HTTP came, then the file transfer protocol FTP came. Then there was a standardization for the the mail, the email communication. The SMTP came. Now all these are the early days of any technology to mature. Similar to that, if you really compare today's world, it is in the similar stage where all these standards are being developed. Now, how does there could be hundreds of different chains existing, or maybe hundreds new will come in the future, but that's not important. The important thing is that are we as blockchain experts, are we being able to bring a set of standards for this community, for this technology, where it does not matter what really gets developed, what really gets innovated in future, those things also fall in line with the standards. Now, will this happen immediately? I don't think so. This is going to take a lot of time, for us to build that standard. And this world, when it becomes so standardized, and this standardization is required in the field of the telecommunication layer, the communication layer, the business layer. For example, different NFTs are being made by on different platforms. How do those NFTs get used in the across the chains? If I create an NFT and for an asset in one particular chain, can I use that on some other platform, on some other chain? Now, these are the vital questions, in my opinion, which we all, as blockchain, I would say, protagonists or loyalists, we are really thinking about as to. And in my opinion, I think the people who are in this workshop today, I mean, they are the people, and other people who are outside, who are also looking at these problems very, very diligently. Now, these are the things which I think these are the problem areas for us as the technologists. But at the same time, in my opinion, these are the opportunities for us to take this technology to the next level. I personally believe that I welcome all of you to come forward and learn this technology. And I think if you really know that the learning the programming language is one part of the whole game. How do you really equip yourself for example, learning the technology environments of any particular chain for that matter, be it Polkadot, be it others. But then you really need to be familiar with the underlying the development ecosystem. How do you really go and set up your environment? How do you go and set up your node? How do you go and start doing the basic fundamentals of writing smart contracts? And then once you really are familiar with all these basic underlying concepts, then comes next where you basically go and start looking at the business use cases. Now, business use cases are, I think, they are the real, I would say, the problem solving paradigm which we all should definitely consider. So I think this is, I think, very very interesting space in my opinion. And I think whether you are a student right now who is doing your engineering or studying at this point in time, or you are a developer who is already in web 2, have been developing things in that space, I think this is a high time, or this is a very very interesting time for you to come in the web 3 world, explore all the possibilities, try to kind of feel the system, learn a development programming language, be it Solidity, be it Rust, and again, be it Go. I think all these are languages which are, I don't think, if you really have, if you have an understanding of how the programming works, then it should be very difficult for you. And I think IBC Media, in my opinion, I think is, taking several of these actions which will help you transition into this space pretty comfortably. So I think, do you really have any question for me while we wait for Steve? I am definitely not sure whether Steve, are you back?
No, he's not here.
Looks like some major technical challenge he has got. So why don't we kind of invite questions from the community right now? I will be very pleased to take up any questions that you may have about blockchain technology or why we are doing here. I think what screen you are seeing right now, this is our current IBC Hack One series which is going on, and we are inviting applications. We are inviting registrations for this program. Please join this program. And as I was talking earlier, we are going to be having a series of program events and the learning sessions for you, in which we will be guiding you. We will be getting you hands-on session as to how do you kind of start into this journey. And I promise you, on behalf of IBC Media, that this will be a wonderful experience for you. And if you have brilliant ideas, we will support those ideas and help convert those ideas into real and meaningful application for the blockchain world. So guys, do you really have anything that maybe you want me to cover, we want me to talk and answer? Please feel free to kind of put that in chat while we wait for our speaker.
You can send in your questions in the chat box here. Also, I would highly encourage all of you all to join our Discord when you are registering for the hackathon. Our Discord has a lot of the community members of IBC. We have our mentors there, so get the conversation going. We have people exchanging ideas in the Discord channel. So a lot of Web3 ideas, a lot of the blockchain application ideas, which we can't even think of, they are being shared in the Discord. So share ideas. It's always a good preparation before we start off with a hackathon.
So yeah, so I have got a question from Vinay. I am a mechanical engineer, already having an 18 years of experience, but interested to get into blockchain domain. But with which profile the people like me should be looking into? Fantastic. I think one thing, Vinay, a very interesting question. For your information, I am also a mechanical production engineer by education. So I think I understand from which field your expertise lies in. But I think what, Vinay, what I say that the blockchain world is not going to be limited to a particular business domain. uh, in my opinion, the blockchain is going to be sector or business agnostic. Now, you will definitely find several use cases in the industrial domain. If you really know what I'm talking about, there are metaverses right now, which are the virtual world metaverses, which are going to be mimicking the whole the plant system, for example, if you understand what I'm saying. And there are people who are required from to join this stream, this blockchain world, from with experience from the industry. So now when you come here, you could come join here as a subject matter expert, which really kind of brings the whole the manufacturing unit, uh, you know uh, the whole world into metaverse. And you could really go and simulate these environments, and you could do that. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Other way to look at it, in my opinion, these programming languages, I have seen people coming and joining from any field, be it engineering, be it industry, be it in fact HR. I have seen many people jumping into this and learning these programming languages, which are pretty, I think, though it depends, if you really are too, I think, if you are too motivated by this, I don't see there is any challenge. And I think the more experience that you have, you really understand this world much better. So I think, I personally feel that this is definitely going to be a good. First of all, my suggestion to you would be that you come and explore this world, understand what's happening in this world, understand the business domain, understand the technology domain, and then see what really excites you, and then maybe you can take a plunge. If I answered your question. Yeah, so as I was saying, Vinay, that additional skills are several. Basically, if you look at blockchain companies, there are several job functions here. I mean, you could come into, depending upon your interest area, you could come and learn some programming language. If you really want to manage community, I mean, that's another interesting area where, if you like working with people, if you like creating community, you could, concentrate in that. If your design is your strengths, you could come and work in design space here. If you really think that finance and economics is something which you like, there are several possibilities in this space. I think it depends. In my opinion, I think there is no hard and fast rule here. Depends on what interest you have. And if you have 18 years of experience in the industry, it should definitely not take you a lot of time to understand something new and adapt to it. So I think, please, my request to you will be that please, I would invite you to explore this field, Vinay, and I think then only you will be able to decide as to which stream or which function you really want to go for. If I answer your question. Absolutely. The question from Akash, can we develop a gaming app using blockchain technology? Absolutely. I think one of the important things, Akash, what we are seeing here is that most of the gaming, applications that you see in Web 2, all those gaming applications can be built in blockchain technology. And so what is the difference? Why do we do that? I mean, that's the first question that should come to our mind, that if there is something already existing in, Web 2 world, which is the current world, why do they need to be built in Web 3? So the most important thing that you can think of here is Web 2 is a centralized system in which whatever ownership or whatever you are building, basically a very less portion of that revenue or monetization comes to you. Now, the moment you think of building something in Web 3, the decentralization becomes the key. Now, with decentralization, what happens that the people, who is the game owner, for example, he becomes the center, and then you start engaging the community. Whoever are the game players, they start becoming a part of the, earning there. So their stake also comes into. So, in my opinion, if you really want to give the power in the hands of the community, I think Web3 is the place where it could be, and that is where you could definitely there are you go and look at the blockchain ecosystem right now. You'll find several of the gaming applications which really have been built here, and all of them are ultra successful in my opinion. Akash, if I answered your question. If you want to talk something, you can request the moderator to unmute yourself, and you could talk as well. So I am open for that, Dhruv. If somebody requests for opening the mic, let's do that.
Yes, definitely. Feel free to drop me a request if you want to unmute your mic. So I have a personal a question sent to me. I think it must have been an accident. So, what do you think about the future of blockchain gaming? It has been gaining a lot of market share recently. So,
Absolutely, I think in my opinion, gaming is going to be one of the one of the most, I would say, hot field in this space. Of course, if you really, I take this opportunity to give you a little bit perspective about this. So the whole thing started with DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance, where many use cases were started in the Web3 world, which were basically in the conventional finance world, such as lending, borrowing, derivative products such as the contracts. All those things basically started happening here. Then insurance came, then gaming came, then you have got sports, several things. NFT came. So I think all these things have been happening here. In my opinion, gaming is a utility which really connects with the masses. Now, with through gaming, what really happens, that you have an ability to reach to the masses, because I think if you really go and look at the community, people are engaged in games. Now, what makes it more interesting, guys, here, that gaming also gives you some monetization, opportunity. Such as there are many games in which whatever you earn, they become your real money, and you could get those tokens. You could go and encash those tokens and go to exchanges and convert them to real money. So basically, now the moment, I think I also have come across cases where there is a term which is called guild. And this guild, what it does basically, people develop expertise in different games, such as there is a game called Axie Infinity. Like that, there are games in which people build the expertise. And in fact, in many countries, I'll tell you guys that people have been making this a means of their livelihood. People play games, and they earn, and they are earning a decent amount of money in terms of I mean, in terms of their monthly income. I think gaming is definitely one of the most, I would say, sought after area in blockchain.
all right, thank you for the perspective. Also, please send the questions in the public chat. You can also send it to me personally if that's what you prefer. I've received another question. So over here, we have a query about cybersecurity. So all in all, I think what the person's trying to say is we have seen the Axie Infinity hack happen last year. So what is the scope for cybersecurity people in the blockchain space, and how do you see it?
Absolutely, very very interesting question, and I want to thank the person who asked this question. See, I think this is very important, and as we know, any technology when it is in early stages, there are various ways in which the bad actors, good actors, everybody comes. Now, what is happening here, that due to the technology being still in a maturing phase, I think there are loopholes. If you really understand what I'm saying, in blockchain world, what happens, the smart contracts, whenever a new smart contract gets deployed, before getting deployed, this has to be audited. Now, auditing kind of tries to make sure that the defects are identified earlier. In fact, many of these applications, the smart contract based applications, they are released to people on a limited edition, to a very few selected community base. Now the question is that while we do all of these things, we still there are areas which are, still, I would say that loopholes are, left in the smart contract program. And by that, what really happens that, the as much as you say the good minds are working, the hackers also are working in this space. So these things are, I would say, very sad events that we see. I mean, definitely we are very disturbed by these events. But then also you have to understand one fact that these things will take time to mature, and especially the bridges, the hacks of bridges really have been a question for debate. So cybersecurity in general and specific to blockchain is very important aspect of the whole the whole space to grow. And I personally feel that unless you kind of make it safe and secure, the trust of the common public will not be there. So I do appreciate your question here, and I think the whole blockchain world is working very hard on this to make give the security. How do we create a system which is least hackable, right? Something that is very important.
Right. Thank you. So we also have a question from Vinay again in the chat box.
Yes, Vinay. So I see your question. So is there any quotes from IBC? Yes, absolutely. So in fact, as I was saying that IBC Media is coming up with education programs for all the important chains very soon. And please wait for the announcement. Please follow us on our social media channels, Vinay. And I think I will encourage all of you to kind of come and join the programs that we are going to be giving. And a very exciting program where it will be sessions which will help you understand this field. Number one, number two, that this will also help you, understand the nitty gritties of the development. We will handhold you, and we will give you, perspective on how to build things in different chains, and we will also allow an ability for you to go and do coding and at the same time. So I think lot many things are coming, Vinay, and I think this I want to announce here on this platform that IBC Media is coming up with several of these things which will help you become, a blockchain developer in the possible time. I will not claim that I can make you a fantastic web developer, Web3 developer in 1 month's time. That will be a tall claim. But yes, I think we will definitely make you a developer. Please associate yourself with IBC Media, and I think that will be this will be very interesting.
Right. We are making the blockchain education very accessible for everyone here. So our speaker, Steve, has also done an MSc in digital currency from University of Nicosia. So if you would look online, such courses are available in very limited universities. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to come on board.
Absolutely. Yes, Vinay. I think Abhishek and I, we definitely have similar thoughts in terms of what we are. How do we? One of the things that we at IBC Media believe very strongly that people need to be trained in technology, and this is something which is very, I would say, looking at the the talent that India has today, and I'm talking about India because we are starting with India, but we have a global presence. But then in India, even if in India you talk about the talent that we have, the direction needs to be given. And I think we are working with several of the the key blockchain protocols such as Polkadot, and we have got tie-ups with several of the educational institutions and the government establishments, and we think that we are in the right position to take this technology to you in your hand, so that your future, first of all, your future becomes bright, number one, and number two, the whole blockchain community gets the talent that it deserves, and you guys are going to be making this world much better, and the future lies in your hand, Vinay, and everyone. The timeline is, as I was saying, we will be announcing these things very soon. I think I would restrain myself from giving a specific talent, but then I think you should be receiving some communication from us very soon. If you have not registered yourself, please go to the hackathon page, IBC hackathon page, all of you, and please register in the program. That gives us your email and your data, so that while we announce these things on our social media channels, we will be also reaching out to you in person if there are things which really you should definitely know about. So please take this message to your friends, and you think people who should be in the Web3 community, please take this message to them and get people onboarded in the IBC, hackathon program. Dhruv, any more question anybody has which we should take up?
So yeah, I was just going through my personal questions here. So another question is, what is the role of an analyst, like a blockchain analyst versus a blockchain consultant, like a developer versus a consultant? As Vinay is also asking about a consultant position. So how does the
So I think
industry work? And an industry insight question here.
Yeah, so I think that is something which is, I would say, this means different things to different people. If you really look at blockchain analysts, this could be in many areas. If you really look at what happens in a blockchain solution, basically, you have got several dimensions there. So you could be a business consultant, you could come from the subject matter side, as I was talking to you earlier. Then you could be somebody who understands the way blockchain functions, for example, the solutioning part. How does the solution work? How does a smart contract work, for example? How does the whole token economics of the platform that you're creating, that's working? How much, how much token really are you basically providing there? How much, how much, what is the process of minting the token? What is the process of burning the token? What are the different business use cases or utilities which will go and decide where do you kind of how do you handle your token? So economics is another thing which really, all these things could be analyzed, in my opinion. Consulting is basically a very, very wide term. In my opinion, you could be a consultant in any of these specialties. For example, you could be a technical consultant, you could be a business consultant, you could be a marketing consultant, you could be a sales consultant. I mean, you could definitely play that role in any of these specialties. I think, in my opinion, I think whatever you name it, but the basic fundamental concept still remains the same. Do you understand the blockchain world in terms of its functioning? How does consensus happen? How do you arrive at a particular block? What are the technicalities in creating a block? How do you arrive at? How do you go and how do you bring transactions? That's the core part. Then you come to the front end side, where you still are talking about the same technologies such as JavaScript and all those, which where you kind of go and build the front end. That really hasn't changed a lot when you compare it with Web 2. But then there is another intermediary layer coming here, which is basically the conduit between the front end and the smart contract. If you look at the conventional Web 2 world, then what happens? You have got a front end, you have got a back end, and then you have got API connections. Through these APIs, you go and access your backend. Here, what happens, apart from the database, now that database itself is a very big topic. In the sense, database could be centralized. You could use MySQL or SQL Server, for example, or you could go and use some decentralized databases. For example, there is something called IPFS, Interplanetary File System, or you could go and use Filecoin. So there are so many ways in which you could still have the data, but this data is decentralized. Now, the front end is still remaining the same. And another concept that comes here is the blockchain. How do you go and hit the blockchain layer, where you could go and ask about blockchain state, for example, what is the latest block? Okay, or you want to go and send a transaction that Vinay is sending some money to Akash, for example. Now, this transaction you have to initiate. Somebody has to initiate. Vinay has to initiate. Now, if Vinay initiates it, then he has to go and hit the blockchain, right? He has to be able to. All these functions are happening within the smart contract. But then you have to go and tell a smart contract that, look, I want to invoke this function which will send money from Vinay's wallet to Akash wallet. Now, this is something which you have to do. All you need to do there is basically go and build this, libraries, like there are JS libraries which you have to build. So this thing is something similar. So ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, this is very, very interesting field where, depending upon your interest area, you could go and choose. If you think you like blockchain, well, if you think you are a front end guy, more of a front end guy, that is also possible. If you really want to go and work in the consensus layer of the chain, for example. Now, these are the applications I'm talking about. But if you really want to go and work in the consensus area, how do you, get consensus on a particular node? You could go and do that. Those are the basically, the, I would say, the architectural, and the deep rooted work in blockchain. That's another very interesting area. Or you think, no, I want to go and do marketing, community building. Those are other areas. So I think plenty of opportunities, guys. I think you should definitely explore, and depending upon your skill and your interest, you should get into, and maybe, you will find something very, very interesting. Dhruv?
Yes, definitely. That answers the question sufficiently. Yes. So
Yeah. So, guys, I think I will say that maybe these technology challenges, what we face in our life, and I think that's what we all are in technology field. So we can never, be sure that something doesn't hit like this. So we had, Steve had, some issues there. I think, but I am very happy that I was able to interact with all of you, and answer some of your questions, to help you understand this world more, and help you come into this space, so that you could be a part of the mainstream. In my opinion, people, this is going to be the mainstream technology in the days to come. So I think definitely you should take a very serious look at that, and finalize what really you want to do. If you are a geek in tech, there are enough opportunities, right? I think there are a couple of questions. I want to become a blockchain consultant for business processes mapping it. Time permits, can you share roadmap for that? Absolutely, Vinay. I think we can definitely talk about it. And business process mapping is one of the most, I would say, interesting areas in blockchain as well. And be it gaming, be it finance, be it sports, be it NFT, be it metaverse, I think these business process mapping is very, very fundamental to the whole blockchain ecosystem. So I think I definitely do appreciate, and I'm sure that we will get many opportunities. Please get connected with me on LinkedIn. Get connected. Follow our social media channels. Join our Discord and join our Twitter, and we will be interacting with you, and helping you do these things in a much smoother way. Hey, yeah, you can find me at Praveen Thakur. On LinkedIn, Vinay, you can find that in LinkedIn. Hey, Steve.
looks like Steve is here. 1 second.
Hi again.
Hey, Steve.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I actually did not see that my Zoom desktop app was not transferring. I actually was talking and presenting my session, thinking that the app was working. So I'm really really sorry for this. What I propose is that either I record the whole presentation and share it with all the participants, or really up to you. We can replay it on another day when I have my setup properly configured.
So. I think
it's
so.
really up to you. I apologize so much, because I was talking for 40 minutes presenting all the demos.
Oh my goodness! Oh my
and
goodness!
I thought it was working, but then finally I see apparently it did not.
No, I think that's what I was talking to our community, that these are the things which are not under our control, and I was filling in for you, and I was talking to them on blockchain and the possibilities, Steve. I think, but then, in my opinion, Steve, I think it is already 5 o'clock now, and we have, many people have signed up because they may have something else. So, if you are okay, we could do this other day if that works, or
Yes.
maybe 5 o'clock. I'll reach out to you, or my moderator will reach out to you, and then we'll take a final call on that.
Yes. And we can provide the two options. I can pre-record the whole session again, and you can share the link with people.
Yeah.
If people prefer to watch it at their own leisure, and we can also have another session. I'm really sorry for those issues.
No problem.
It's the first time it happens.
We understand that, Steve. We understand that, Steve. So I think you don't need to be apologetic. I think this is what the technology world is all about. And we do appreciate you coming here. Any words of wisdom to the people who are there here right now, Steve, from your side?
I want to say some words of wisdom about preparing your computer before doing a presentation. No, but I'm just to say that I really hope I will share the recorded presentation, and we could organize another session. I really invite people to watch either the recorded session or attend the next presentation. I just want people to learn about XCM, because it's really a foundational technology that we are building, as it will enable a new world of decentralized application, because they will be able to compose and combine capabilities from different chains, whatever type of chains, even smart contracts. XCM is so generic, so flexible, that you will be able to build very powerful dApps using XCM. So
absolutely. And I was telling them, Steve, that Polkadot is one of the innovations I love, and the way you guys have designed the whole architecture in the relay chain and the para chain, and you have opened the world of possibilities, basically. So I think it's a wonderful innovation, and the whole blockchain world is looking towards you guys, Steve, to make it better and better.
Yes, but that does not prevent us to have issues with Zoom. So we need a new decentralized Zoom.
I think somebody is working on that, I believe, I guess. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. And I think I want to thank Steve on behalf of IBC Media and the whole community for giving his time, though there were technical challenges, but I do appreciate Steve's time for us. And I want to thank you, all of our community, that IBC Media, along with Polkadot being the headline sponsor, we are trying to bridge the gap between the chains, their talent supply, talent need, and the talent. And we're trying to be that conduit so that this world chain and the blockchain world becomes better and better. And we want to kind of go to a much more decentralized economy or decentralized business system, like Steve pointed out. So thank you, Steve, for your time today, and we look forward to talking to you very soon. And thank you, the community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.